So it seems like for a lot of Star Wars fans, Dave Filoni may have just ruined the Star Wars universe, especially the Mandalorian universe, which is the universe that most of us, probably you watching this video, most look forward to in the future of Star Wars. And I hate to break it to you, but Dave Filoni is not the person that I thought he was. He's not the person that you thought he was, and he will eventually ruin Star Wars if he is given the chance to. And I'm going to explain to you why that is and give you the facts that Dave Filoni is not who we thought he was. He's not this person that's against the feminist agenda. He's not this person that's only for storytelling. He actually loves the feminist agenda. He actually actively pushed it into the sequel trilogy, and I have facts to back that up. But first, we have some really bad news for most of you watching this video. For me, it's not that bad of news, but I know a lot of you are going to hate this news that I'm about to tell you, and I know a lot of you are going to hate me for what I'm about to say about this news, because I think I have a different opinion than most of you. But this woman named Soraya Wilson, I think is how you pronounce it, did an interview with Rian Johnson where she asked him a bunch of questions, and I believe it was in a Zoom call a few months ago, and we've been getting drip fed this information over months and months of time. She's giving us this information extremely slowly, but she just dropped another bomb on us. She just dropped another piece of information that could absolutely shatter the Star Wars fandom, and it kind of did in a way. Soraya Wilson tweeted, "I asked Ryan if he'd ever considered doing an episode of The Mandalorian. He said he was dying to, but for him it's all about scheduling. He's been writing Knives Out too, and now he's going to go directly into filming it, so it would be a matter of finding time to break away and do it." He said he has spoken to Dave Filoni about it, and he had gone and visited the set during season 1. He said it was so cool, and I told him I was very jealous. He said he had seen Baby Yoda months before the reveal. So I know that news is going to shatter a lot of your dreams and break a lot of your hearts, but I'm here to tell you that it's not actually that bad of news. But first, I want to address your initial thought that Dave Filoni would never bring Rian Johnson in to direct an episode. He knows what Rian Johnson did to Star Wars. He hated those movies. He hated the storytelling in the sequel trilogy. Dave Filoni would never hire Rian Johnson to direct an episode of The Mandalorian. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Dave Filoni actually played a huge part in the storytelling decisions for the sequel trilogy, and in particular, he played a huge part in pushing that feminist agenda that we saw throughout the entire trilogy. A lot of that was either Dave Filoni's ideas, or he pushed the ideas that others had even further, but either way, Dave Filoni loved pushing that feminist agenda, and he even used words like patriarchy and matriarchy. This article is from Disney. Star Wars is dumb, so yes, a little bit biased, but the headline of this article says, "Lose your faith in Dave Filoni, all ye who enter here." And let's get this straight before we go into this article. I was a huge Dave Filoni fan, and I still am until he proves me wrong, but this definitely puts a stain on his resume. This definitely makes me think that Jon Favreau is the real hero of the Star Wars universe, the real hero of the Mandoverse, and that if it was just Dave Filoni alone making that universe, if it was Dave Filoni alone making The Mandalorian, it would be no different from the sequel trilogy. Once again, I keep reiterating this over and over again, but Jon Favreau is the glue that holds that entire universe together. If Jon Favreau wasn't there, then Dave Filoni would 100% give into Kathleen Kennedy's feminist agenda, and maybe he wouldn't even be giving into it because it seems like he actually likes pushing that agenda as well. The publication of The Art of the Rise of Skywalker has confirmed that no one at Lucasfilm knows what the hell they're doing without the strong guiding hand of George Lucas. So if you think Filoni is your savior, guess again. A reader posted a scan from the book which had the following text in it. In The Art of Rise of Skywalker, Phil Szozak wrote, Lucasfilm executive creator Doug Chiang wondered, since these 3 films are a female-driven story, where's Leia in episodes 8 and 9? So it was decided before the story was even planned out, before the story was decided for the sequel trilogy, that it was going to be a female-driven story. Like we've all predicted, like we've all speculated, that was the first thing that they came up with. It's not a narrative-driven, it's not a story-driven thing that they're doing over there at Disney Star Wars. They're only trying to push an agenda, and this article, this excerpt from this book, The Art of the Rise of Skywalker, proves that, and even Dave Filoni is in on it. So it was known right from the start that the story in the Disney trilogy wasn't going to be driven by wars in the stars, but by female genitalia instead. In the same book, Dave Filoni is quoted as saying, there's a potential idea there about the matriarchy coming back and subverting what has always been dominantly patriarchal and male heroes, Zeus, Hercules, and everything else. John Knoll then says, the super intriguing setup in Empire, that boy is our only hope. No, there is another. I felt cheated in Jedi that really didn't go anywhere. But maybe Yoda is really talking about what happens with Leia in 8, 30 years in the future. And honestly, I'm not super against that. I think that's actually kind of a good idea. But once again, you don't have to put down the male characters in the story to build up the female character. One day Hollywood will realize that. I don't know when that's going to be. Still seems like they're going in the wrong direction as of now. To which Dave Filoni replies, I love that. We should shift it so Leia is the Obi-Wan of the entire trilogy. It's dangerous because it makes it so about the women of Star Wars. Something to me says that's right. There is something happening culturally. You look at birth, regeneration, the world itself needing healing. All of those things are emblematic of the mother character in myth. They are all matriarchal things. Mother Earth itself, global warming is a hot topic. So this is the guy that we all thought was our hero. This is the guy that we thought was creating the Mandalorian universe, that was saving Star Wars. And it's clear that's not the case. It's clear that if Jon Favreau wasn't on set with Dave Filoni, that it would be no different from the sequel trilogy in the sense that there would be a feminist agenda pushed in it. And I have no question that Dave Filoni would be able to tell a better story than the sequel trilogy told, but it's clear that he would want to push a feminist agenda in everything that he does because he was the one that was pushing those ideas in the sequel trilogy. He was the one that when these ideas were brought up, he pushed them them even further, he wanted the women to be more powerful than the men more than anyone else in that room, or at least that's how the book made it out to seem. And I just want to make it clear that there's nothing wrong with Leia being powerful. There's nothing wrong with Leia being that Obi-Wan figure, but you don't have to put down Luke in order to make Leia look good. You don't have to bring down the men in the story to make the women look powerful. So it's clear that Dave Filoni is not our hero. It's Jon Favreau. He is the hero of the Star Wars universe. He is the creator of the Mandalorian universe that we know and love. But now I'm about to say something that's going to make you hate me for sure, and that's that I don't think Rian Johnson directing a Mandalorian episode is a bad thing, and I actually think it's a great thing. I actually think that he would make the best Mandalorian episode that we've ever seen, and please hear me out why. Rian Johnson has made some great movies in the past. I know The Last Jedi isn't a good Star Wars movie. I agree with you on that. The storytelling is lackluster in that movie, but he has made some great movies in my opinion, like Looper and like Knives Out. But he's made even better television episodes, and I think the reason behind that is because he didn't have much say in the storytelling. He was just a director for the television episodes. But he directed some of the best episodes of Breaking Bad, and he directed the episode that most Breaking Bad fans think is the best episode of all time, possibly even the best television episode of all time, period. And that's the episode of Ozymandias. And I think the reason for that is because he doesn't have much say in the storytelling. He's not the greatest storyteller in the world, but the man can direct a movie, and he damn sure can direct a television episode, which is why I think he would be great for The Mandalorian. I think if you combine Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's storytelling, as much as I don't like Dave Filoni anymore because of what he did for the sequel trilogy, him and Jon together especially are very good storytellers. And I think if you combine their storytelling with Rian Johnson's directorial skills, you could have the best episode that we've ever seen of The Mandalorian. And I know you're gonna hate me for that, but if you really sit down and think about it logically, don't be blinded by your hate of The Last Jedi, think about this logically, and you will realize that Rian Johnson directing a Mandalorian episode is actually a very good thing. And I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will recognize that. I think Jon Favreau is probably holding back a little bit on bringing Rian Johnson on, but I think eventually even Jon Favreau will give in because he knows how talented Rian Johnson is. And Jon knows, like I know, that if they combine their storytelling skills with his direction skills, they can make some of the best Star Wars of all time. But let me know what you guys think about Dave Filoni not being the person we thought he was, not being the actual hero of Star Wars. And let me know what you guys think about Rian Johnson directing an episode of The Mandalorian. Even after what I said, do you still think it would be a god-awful idea? Or can you actually see it working? Can you actually see them making one of the best episodes of The Mandalorian? Let me know what you think in the comments about that whole thing. I know you probably hate me after what I said about Rian Johnson, but once again, I don't think The Last Jedi is a good Star Wars movie. I just think he's a talented director, and he would do a good job on The Mandalorian. If you want to support the channel, check out all the new merch that I just dropped. The link to that will be in the description. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both of those links will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.